I can't think of anything that would unify this country more if there was a big bipartisan vote in favor of impeachment.
Joe Biden has talked about unity and healing. Is that what this is today? Is accusing Republican lawmakers of sedition and calling for their expulsion the plan for healing? Is working with Silicon Valley to digitally disappear those with whom they disagree with the plan for reconciliation?
Those are questions that need to be answered. Even as lawmakers say they just want the country to come together, Democrats and Republicans are arguing about what unity really means, what it's going to look like. Well, from the Capitol riot to a second impeachment to next week's inauguration, let's talk about it all with tonight's panel. Fox News contributor Leslie Marshall and author of Defender-in-Chief John Yoo. Welcome to both of you. I'll start with you, John. The Washington Post says this: the Senate can constitutionally hold an impeachment trial after Trump leaves office. Professor Tribe goes on, and he's no fan of President Trump, goes on to say disqualifying President Trump from ever again holding federal office is a particularly suitable remedy for fomenting and inciting insurrection. So where do we go from here on the legal front, John?
I wish I had Professor Tribe's confidence. I think actually the Constitution leaves this question quite open. In fact, the constitutional text really only talks about impeaching and removing from office or disqualifying the president, the vice president, and officers of the United States. On January 20th at noon, President Trump will no longer be president. He'll be private citizen Donald Trump. There's a difficult constitutional question whether a former president who's no longer in office can be tried for an impeachment. Today's impeachment by the House is certainly constitutional because President Trump is still in office. We've never impeached someone after they left office. No member, no president, no vice president, no cabinet member has actually been convicted of an impeachment after they have left. This is a question of first impression you have to ask. Is it worth it?
Yeah, and I think within the Biden administration, they are having that conversation about whether this is going to mess with the things that he wants to roll out off the top, his start, getting his first 100 days, and the initiatives that he wants to talk about. The Wall Street Journal says this: remove Trump, let's ask Honest Abe. And it talks a lot about President Lincoln in this piece. But it says we do not need a civil war to resolve our differences. We can negotiate a way of living together that does not require either side to surrender, but to reach agreement, each side must retreat from its maximalist claims. Leslie, how do we do that? I mean, there are a number of people, 74 million or so, who voted for the president who are now worried about things like losing job offers and being deplatformed because they've supported this president.
Well, there's a difference between supporting the president and being a part of or supporting the insurgents that we saw last week on January 6th, and that's a big difference. Look, when you have, first of all, Joe Biden is not responsible for what Donald Trump has done, not responsible for what the House has done, nor will he be responsible for what the Senate plans to do once he is president. But Joe Biden wants to hit the ground running. He wants to unite this country, and quite frankly, that happening in the Senate will be a distraction. But like Senator Bernie Sanders says, they need to learn to walk and chew gum at the same time if they haven't already. To answer your question, I think Kevin McCarthy, Speaker McCarthy, did a good thing today when he said, look, you know, there are people out there saying this was Antifa. There is no evidence of that. What we also need is for Republicans to say, look, and many have, Joe Biden is the president. He will be the president. And there is no evidence of widespread voter fraud in this election. And we need to hold people accountable, and then we need to move forward together because, as President-elect Biden has said, the priorities for this country are getting COVID behind us and getting people back to work and getting us back to our lives.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about the problems with the vaccine rollout. But, John, final comment from you on this topic.
Well, look, the only two things you can do to someone who's convicted of impeachment is remove them from office. That doesn't matter. President Trump's no longer going to be president in about a week, or disqualify them from future political office. I don't think we need to put the country through a whole nother 2 months of an impeachment controversy just to make sure Donald Trump can't run for president again. Let's trust the American people. They can decide. They already decided to remove the president by not reelecting him. They can decide never to have President Trump hold office again just by voting at the ballot box.
We'll see what the coming months bring. John and Leslie, thank you both. Good to see you.
Thanks, Shannon.